rising like a divine mountain. This is a sacred maze of cosmic energy and ancient worship. Deep in the heart of Tamil Nadu, it anchors one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities. Its roots span over a millennium, surviving empires, destruction, and grand rebirths. Rebuilt by the Nayak rulers, it was designed to manifest a divine marital union on earth.
How did ancient builders raise 14 massive towers using only basic tools and devotion?
Historians believe the layout closely followed the sacred geometry of the ancient Vastu Shastra. The foundations had to support millions of tons of heavy granite over the coming centuries. Granite blocks were quarried miles away and transported across rugged terrain by great elephant herds.
Historians note that interlocking joints were carved perfectly without using any liquid mortar.
The alignment of the foundation grid directly mirrored the ancient Hindu cosmic map. Every element of the core earthwork was manually compacted using heavy wooden rammers. Uniquely, the shrine for the goddess was planned to be built first, breaking typical traditions. Specialized guilds of master craftsmen traveled across India to supervise the delicate stonework.
The massive footprint of the base established a city within a city, vast and well protected. Earthen inclines allowed massive blocks to be hoisted manually without complex mechanical cranes.
The sacred pool's foundation was carved to collect rainwater directly, serving as a reservoir.
Architects ensured the stone steps followed an exact mathematical symmetry on all four sides.
Even hidden foundation stones received sacred carvings to bless the structure from below. The base of each gopuram tower required a massive plinth to carry thousands of statues later. Centuries of layered construction started with this meticulously flattened sandy plain. The core foundation was now complete, giving rise to the temple's structural skeleton. Iron dowels were poured with molten lead to securely lock the massive stones against earthquakes. The sheer physical effort required thousands of men and animals working in perfect harmony. With the sacred grounds firmly set, the grand structures were ready to pierce the heavens.
The central shrines were designed as spiritual powerhouses, built to last for eternity. Every guardian figure was chiseled from a single stone to protect the sacred thresholds. Massive stone beams were lifted carefully using complex systems of ropes and heavy pulleys. Ancient plaster recipes combined unique organic elements for strength and cooling effects. The legendary 1,000-pillar hall began to take shape, each column telling a unique myth. Vivid colors were extracted from pure plant extracts and crushed mineral stones. The ceiling art mapped out ancient astronomical cycles and complex divine stories. The monumental gateway towers were built to be visible from miles across the plains. Thousands of builders worked in shifts, raising the massive towers tier by tier. Stucco allowed for highly detailed, three-dimensional expressions of divine forms. The grand design transformed the landscape into a massive, multi-layered fortress of faith. Each level of the tower represented different realms of existence, brightly colored.
The pathways were designed to handle tens of thousands of pilgrims during grand festivals. Perfect mathematical alignment ensured that early morning light reached the inner sanctums. Sacred metals were melted down to create bells that would echo across Madurai. Pure gold plating was applied to the main shrine's dome, glowing like the sun. The completed reservoir became the spiritual center for ritual purification. After decades of intense labor, a breathtaking cityscape of gods stood fully realized. The ultimate ritual breathed divine life into the stone, sealing its spiritual power. Madurai celebrated the rebirth of its soul, an architectural miracle built on devotion.
Yet, the temple's true test came when external forces threatened its very existence.
In the 14th century, the complex was looted and nearly destroyed by invaders.
For decades, the sacred spaces lay silent, its treasures hidden away from the world.
But the spirit of Madurai could not be crushed, sparking a grand era of restoration. The Nayak dynasty rose to rebuild the temple, making it grander than ever before. Specialized sculptors crafted columns that ring with distinct musical notes when tapped gently. Each pillar was engineered with microcavities to function as a natural musical instrument.
The architecture expanded geometrically, creating a vast network of symmetrical halls. The dynamic layout allowed thousands of people to comfortably gather during major festivals.
The completed stone avenues formed an impressive path toward the divine presence within.
Surprisingly, builders used local plant extracts to make the stucco incredibly weather-resistant.
Contrary to myth, the temple complex housed a highly sophisticated hidden drainage system.
Records show that subsequent rulers secretly recycled older shrines into new monuments.
History reveals the vast structure was financed largely by regular merchants, not just kings.
The massive gateways became living tapestries, illustrating the entire Hindu pantheon. The iconic gopurams entered their final phase, slowly evolving into dense layers of divine art. Every single square inch of the towering gateways was destined to tell a specific sacred story.
Master craftsmen sculpted directly on the steep towers, defying height with sheer devotion. A vast spectrum of vibrant colors began to cover the gray stone, shifting the entire view.
The shining golden towers marked the absolute spiritual heart of the entire city.
Every color choice was symbolic, representing different cosmic elements and divine moods.
Over thousands of statues accumulated on the gateways, creating a stunning visual chaos. The crowning elements completed the monumental task, reaching directly toward the heavens. The inner sanctum was now fully shielded by gold, ready for the final breath of life. The city was structured like a lotus flower, with the grand temple as its center. As the tools of construction vanished, the pure majesty of the stone layout was unveiled.
The sacred waters mirrored a masterpiece, capturing centuries of devotion in a single reflection.
Every corridor was prepared to shift from a busy workshop to a silent, eternal sanctuary. The heavy gates parted, inviting the world into a sprawling universe of sacred art. Today, this grand monument remains a vibrant masterpiece of ancient art and living faith. The monumental project entered its final decades, shifting focus to breathtaking cosmetic details. Every entryway to the inner sanctums was reinforced with gleaming metal, symbolizing divine protection. Dozens of smaller shrines sprouted across the complex, acting as satellites to the main deities. The walls became historical archives, permanently recording the royal lineages of southern India. The sweeping stone paths were designed to guide massive processions smoothly around the core. The raising of the sacred flagstaff marked the symbolic opening of the temple to the universe. The structural skeleton was completely hidden behind endless waves of breathtaking art panels. Tower by tower, the immense scaffolding network fell away, revealing the vibrant final structures. Every dynamic ritual and administrative law was written down to preserve the temple's daily function. The absolute final architectural borders were sealed, locking the massive complex into its final form. After generations of relentless labor, the colossal building site finally transitioned into a silent sanctuary. The smaller towers stood finished, forming a grand architectural mountain range around the central core. The completed pool stood completely still, ready to receive the sacred waters for coming generations. The sprawling stone maze stood perfectly quiet, waiting to echo with the sounds of human prayer. Final preparations began across the complex, signaling the grand awakening of a spiritual powerhouse. The monumental dream stood fully achieved, a staggering city of stone gods completely realized on Earth. Thousands of eager devotees rushed inside, bringing vibrant human life to the massive stone complex. The sacred reservoir immediately became the vibrant, beating heart of daily ritual cleansing. The legendary gallery functioned exactly as planned, completely mesmerizing all who stepped inside. Madurai celebrated a grand triumph of architectural genius, completely transforming its landscape forever. Answering the opening mystery, ancient builders solved the massive puzzle through sheer, organized devotion. By executing an exact cosmic blueprint, they successfully balanced millions of tons of granite effortlessly. Their profound engineering methods created an everlasting monument that successfully survived brutal empires. The riddle of its construction is answered by the living faith that continues to fully protect it. Ultimately, the ancient builders raised more than stone, forging an immortal bridge to the cosmos.